All right, cool. We're here. I'm just going to do this now because I'm not sure how much time I will have, but I've got a little uninterrupted time here, and we're just going to go for it. I haven't talked about Matt Powell on my channel before. When I was first coming into the YouTube sphere, he's one of the first Christian apologists that I heard about, if you can call him a Christian, but I'd say that's debatable. So we'll get right into this. I've got a few criticisms for Matt Powell here, and we'll talk a little bit about that.
A few years back, I started putting out videos on YouTube, and this really caused a lot of people to get very upset.
You idiot!
To be honest, sometimes I wonder why people would get so angry when you're just simply telling the truth and you're simply just telling people how it really is. For whatever reason, people just get very angry.
There is no.
Well, we're going to talk about why people get angry at Matt Powell very soon. Hey, Godless So-and-see in the chat. Much love. Yeah, I'm just doing this like right now because I have a bit of uninterrupted time, it looks like. So we'll see how long that lasts. This asshole is just doing his shit again. So for anybody who's not familiar, I became familiar with Matt Powell through The Raging Atheist, who's he's going to talk about a little bit.
No, God, you are a monkey, and we can prove it.
I will admit that I was triggered by your video.
I wanted to take a moment and talk about three different people that I've debated, three atheist YouTubers.
Yeah, but before we let Matt do that, let's just point out how he just showed a clip of somebody who was pre-transition at the time, who is now transitioning, Bree, who used to be known by a different name at Hive Science or Brainbug, who Matt has also debated, but he's not going to make any commentary about that. He's just going to sneak that photo in to be a fucking troll, transphobe asshole and not say anything about it. But I'm going to attack you right now, Matt Powell. Like, fuck you for using that photo. You know exactly what you're doing, and it's all for the sake of trolling atheists. And Matt's going to start claiming victimhood here, which is truly disgusting to me.
I really didn't want to debate any of them. I don't like debates. I know that may be a surprise to some of you.
Yeah, it is a surprise because if you Google Matt Powell debates, surprise, most of your content is either debates or you reviewing debates or you talking shit about your debate opponents like you're doing right now. Frickin' liar.
I actually hate doing debates. I think that they're just annoying. I don't like having arguments with people. I don't like conflict and disagreements. I'd rather stay on the outskirts and just kind of lie low and not.
You regularly participate on the program Whack an Atheist with Kent Hovind. You fucking troll. Like, what are you talking about?
Have conflict. But because certain atheist YouTubers had called me out and asked me to do a debate with them, I figured that I would take them up on it. And the way that this all began really was with The Raging Atheist. I'm sure many of you know him.
To be honest, the only reason that I know the Raging, or that I know your name is because of The Raging Atheist, right? And we're going to talk more about this, but Rage refused to engage with this post. So I mean, I get that. I totally get that because you've rented a lot of mental space in our heads in the past. So yeah, we'll get into that.
he had called me out several years back, and he put out video after video after video challenging me to all these debates. And
you put out video after video after video of trans and homophobic content, dude. Like, and not just that, but you and Kent go around actively trolling atheists. Do you expect us not to respond to you? What are you talking about?
on all these different subjects, and it just really caught me off guard. I didn't want to do the debate. I had had a discussion with an atheist.
He didn't want to do the debate. Non-consensual debates. Once again, I beg to differ, sir. I think you really want to do debates. I think this gets your frickin' rocks off. And hey, you know, I get it. But don't sit here and try to be in denial now. Don't try to play victim. I didn't want to debate. I was just, I just fell, and landed in the fucking modern day debate circle. Yeah, come on, dude. Fuck out of here.
Prior to the Raging Atheist doing that, and it wasn't my thing. It wasn't what I wanted to do, and it still isn't what I ever really wanted. I had a discussion with him nonetheless, and you can watch that on YouTube here for free.
Yes, you can. Matt Powell was groomed as a child and now is fully grown Jesus robot. Yes, I would say so. It's Kent's little protege there. I invited Bree over to do this too. If Bree shows up, I will definitely put a link down here. But I just had to. If nobody else is going, and you know what, Ethan, YFNA told me not to engage, and I'm like, fuck this guy. I have never formally said fuck Matt Powell, but on this stream, I will formally say fuck you, Cupcake.
But I want to talk about why I had debated the Raging Atheist and why I had dealt with these opponents. Mainly because these people are actively after our kids.
Projecting much? We're after your kids? Like, whose responsibility is it to watch what your kids are watching on YouTube? That's your responsibility, man. No, we're not actively after your kids. We're out here creating our own communities, minding our own business, and you guys caught wind of it. No, cut this victimhood. I'm a victim. I wish I had the Willie D clip right now. That's fucking amazing.
They're actively trying to get people to think that there's no God.
You know what? Yeah, he's got, sure. We are actively out here trying to get people to question your God. Boo fucking who, dude?
They're trying to convince people that magic is real and that mysticism is true and that the world created itself from nothing.
You're trying to convince people that magic is real. How are you totally deflecting that point onto us? No, most atheists would say magic is not real. Only you believe in a magical mind in the sky who watches us masturbating and used to flood the earth, but now he's a better dude.
From nothing. And not only that, I noticed when the Raging Atheist was attacking me that he had a lot of hurt and bitterness, and he had a lot of hatred in his heart.
Yeah, the Raging Atheist used to be a believer. And he admittedly, he said himself, was very bitter about some of the deceptions, or many of the many deceptions of religion, and how he felt that he was a victim of religion. Like, you're not making a point at all. Like, this is all shit that we've talked about.
And I thought, I should try to talk to him. I should try to help him out with this. I don't like to see people in pain. I don't like to see people suffering. I'd really like to see him get saved and come to know Jesus and come to have a changed life. Like,
honestly, if I believed you were sincere in that statement, I have more sympathy for Darth Dawkins at this point, because at least Darth Dawkins has a mission statement. You, Matt Powell, have no other mission statement than to troll atheists. So I do not believe you. I think you're being dishonest.
Like I've had, the Lord has really done a work in my life, and I believe that He can do it in anybody's life. And so, I met with him, and we met up at the Library of Michigan, and we had this debate. And he seemed pretty nice throughout the debate, but all of a sudden, when we started talking about things like transgenderism or the LGBTQ,
right, and there you go. When he has a point against you, all of a sudden he's no longer nice because you're a bigoted, homophobic, transphobic jerk. Like, you're that's what you don't get. You're targeting people, and your claim is that these people are mentally ill, and you are targeting them, right? Even if, and I don't accept that. I don't accept that these people are all just mentally ill. Maybe there's certainly some portion of them, but trans is not a mental illness. Homosexuality is not a mental illness. But you claim that, and by your own metric, you are attacking a person who you think is mentally ill or disabled. Do you realize that?
or even things like just basic creation science versus Darwinian evolution, he really started to break down. He got very angry, very bitter about it.
You were debating a guy called the Raging Atheist, Matt. His name was the Raging Atheist. And he has now changed it to Rage to Reason. He's doing a whole different thing. Purge the channel. And I'm still watching. I still consider Knock a friend. But like, dude, come on. You knew who you were debating when you went into it. Get the fuck out of here.
And, to me, you can just learn to agree to disagree with people. You need to learn to just be able to get along.
But your sect does not just agree to disagree. They want to legislate against trans and LGBTQ people. They want to legislate against fucking women and atheists at this point. Your sect is completely over here. And you're like, can't we all just get along? No, Matt. No, you don't get to play that. No, absolutely not. Get out of here.
If somebody has a different opinion than you, whatever, they can believe whatever they want. This is the United States of America.
I digress. I think I just made this point, but fuck you, dude. Like, you're literally trying to shut other people's bodily autonomy down by your religious preference, and then tell us that we could just agree to disagree and we're free to think we want to think. Like, where are you coming from?
I don't get worked up about people believing crazy things.
Yeah, neither do I. I'm not worked up at all. I mean, the fact that you believe nonsense means nothing to me. At the end of the day, I'm going to go do, my thing and enjoy Thanksgiving. Happy Turkey Day, by the way. It's going to be great, I swear. But you're the one over here, I can't even. This frustrates me so much. And I see why people told me like not to engage with this, but at the same time, I just have to engage with this. This has to be the most dishonest Christian YouTuber to act like he doesn't instigate people. Like that's all he does. He goes around instigating people, and yeah, troll for Jesus.
I really don't. I get worked up about people spewing that to children or to people that are innocent, that don't know any better, that maybe are not well researched.
Yeah, I totally get worked up about that too.
And that might buy into something false. Yeah, that bothers me. But if somebody wants to believe something like there's more than two genders, whatever, you do.
Whatever, you do you, but let's just okay. You're not gonna address the fact that you have actively tried to. Well, I don't know if there's a term for this, but you're like dead naming somebody in your video without doing it, right? And then you're like, well, hey, yeah, you do you, that's fine, but I'm gonna go out of my way to fucking poke at you, and kudos to Bree for not really wanting to engage with this, because this is what makes you fucking human trash. Like, again, by your metric, you call this person mentally ill or something like that, and then you're going out of your way to exploit them in your own video and call yourself a Christian. No, no, you don't get to have it both ways. That is just a terrible thing to do as a human being, right? And then the other way, you have zero respect for this person. Like, regardless of what your belief about their belief is, you don't respect their beliefs at all. And you're going to go out of your way to try and make that an issue of controversy. And I would say my response is, I'm not going to let you get away with it. Like, yeah, you're getting the attention you deserve, but you're not getting more attention from me. I'm a small little channel over here. You got a bunch of people, Matt. Like, honestly, I've got nothing to gain by covering this. My friends told me not to, but I just had to say, fuck you, Cupcake. I can't not do it.
You do you. But yeah, so we had this conversation, and when I put out the film Science Falsely So Called back in 2018, you can see that on YouTube as well for free. He he got really angry because a lot of Christians were laughing at him.
No, he got angry because you are a dishonest debater. Like, you deflect, you try to shift the goalpost. You do every standard Christian apologetics maneuver. It's all like straight out of the Darth Dawkins playbook, and you just try to pretend you're a nice guy, and you're really not. You're not a nice fucking person, Matt.
And I kind of chuckled here and there too, because he was making some funny points, about aliens from outer space creating us, or life coming from another planet, right?
I want to see Matt Powell debate a Mormon. I think he will get owned on that point. What is it, like the spaceman god who came down and physically impregnated Mary? That's the Mormon version. I would love to see that debate.
It just kind of it really did crack me up. It was a fun time, right? Ronnie, I don't know if you're watching this, but if you see this video, it was a good time. Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't really want to be there. I hate doing it, but it was a good time, and this guy was a total asshole. God, what are you talking about, Matt? All right, I'm gonna probably speed this up. It's gonna be a little infuriating. Okay, we'll just keep going with it.
you just believe in things that were not true and saying things that were not true, and that's why people were kind of laughing, is because this stuff is so insane. You'd wonder how anybody could actually believe in it. So he ended.
No, people are probably laughing because it's funny. For like, Matt's just presuming the audience was on his side, and I'm not sure where the first debate took place. I don't know if I was there for that. I've been watching Rage for a while, ever since I think he sunk his first channel, from what I understand. And but I first got acquainted with him through the ACA chats as well, over at the Atheist Experience. And then he was debating this fucker, which was already already over and done with. And then they did a do-over debate which I think is the one that's on Matt's channel. If you come up, it's one of the most relevant searches. And it's pretty funny the way he tries to portray this, because it's not the way it went down at all. At all.
He ended up really getting angry about this and really vitriolic against me. And he gave me some nasty messages, nasty phone calls. And so he said, this was wrong. You misedited me in your movie, and that's why I look so incredibly stupid.
Yeah, so Matt's done, I guess, a couple of movies where he finds atheists who are willing to have conversations with him, and then he edits them to make their arguments look like shit. I mean, to portray them in an unintelligible light, and that's very easy to do. You could do that to just about anybody. If like, fuck, I'd be a prime target for that. But he's been exposed. I can't remember the name of the channel. I will post it somewhere sometime later. I just discovered a channel where they did like a 2-hour long expose on all of Matt Powell's videos, and where they found a lot of the original content, where the speakers in those who were like, no, that's, I did say that, but that's a very poor editing of what I was saying in the context, right? Like, he does this. He's a serial serial clip miner.
And so I said, Ronnie, look, let's have another debate, and we'll just do it a modern day debate. We'll deal with it live on YouTube, completely unedited, and let's just see how this goes. Let's have another discussion, because I didn't want him to feel like he was being cheated, even though he had access to the full conversation and even posted our first conversation. But anyways, so we had that debate.
Right, and so there he almost admitted it. Like, no, dude wasn't mad with you for just posting it. He was mad at you for intentionally editing it in a certain way. And I don't think that's illegitimate. It's like, dude, if you're going to post a full conversation, so now we have to go back to modern day debate and do a conversation in public that's not going to be, totally picked apart by you to, like, I don't know. When I edit videos, I edit out people having brain farts and going and a lot. That's mostly like, I can't think of myself editing the full portion of a video. Or when I take clips, I'll try to take like a full 5 minutes. And if there's some interruption, I'll announce that. But I can't imagine just trying to take just 5 seconds of what somebody says and then act like I'm going to make a rebuttal to it as if there's no context behind it. That is so fucking dishonest.
In modern day debate, and he cried. He broke down weeping at the end, and all through the debate, he's just failing after fail after fail after fail after fail to defend atheism, because it's indefensible, really. And he just broke down and started weeping. What I found interesting is he literally admitted to other atheist YouTubers prepping him and helping him get ready for this, and that he's using their arguments, their best arguments, against me and against this worldview that I have. And I still care for Ronnie.
I don't believe that for a second. I don't think you give a shit about Ronnie or Bree or any of us over here. Like, we're just fodder for you, and I don't really care about you either, honestly. Like, as a person, like I said, that's all you're good for is this cupcake shit. Like, as much as I don't want to be like Rev, I definitely don't want to be a Matt Powell either, because this is horseshit. Like, you need to rethink your whole mentality. Like, what do you think you're doing? Well, I know what he thinks he's doing. He thinks he's like evangelizing to low-level atheists like me. I'm going to watch this. It's going to open my mind. I'm going to realize, like, you don't even know your opponent anymore. Rage isn't even the same person. If you watched it, changed a lot of his stuff. A lot of us aren't the same people as we were. How long this debate was like 2 years ago or something. Like, and you're still focused on it, the angry atheist, and we haven't even gotten to the other two.
I think about him quite often, believe it or not. And I think back to this conversation that we had that made him famous among the atheist community, but not in the greatest of ways.
I don't think, no, this did not make him famous amongst the atheist community. I think there were a lot of people who were encouraging him not to engage with you, like people encouraging me not to engage with you now. But that's neither here nor there. Rage built his own thing. Everybody who's built a community here has done it, for the most part. That everybody that I know has done it through their own freaking, their own willpower. I'm going to use the term willpower because I was over it. I'm still in James Apperson's stream, but I'm talking to you guys. And we were talking about free will, whatever you call it, pure grit. I can't think of things right now, but yeah, like we're all here. We made a choice to be here, and regardless of whatever you're doing, like no, Rage had his own thing going on before you. He still has a thing going on without you. You're pretty much irrelevant to us. You could be a lulz cow, and you're kind of I don't know what you'd call that. You're just a fucking troll, Matt. That's all you are.
And I just I think about him quite often. I hope that he gets saved. I really do. I really hope that he can turn his life around, get off the drugs, get off the alcohol.
Now, as far as I know, Rage has maybe short of a relapse or something been sober from alcohol for at least a couple of years, and drugs you're talking about, like marijuana, because we both openly use marijuana. I'm not worried about that, so I don't know. That's probably not something you could put into your video. Like again, it's just you're just being judgmental again, and you don't even know your opponent anymore. You're talking about shit that happened 2 years ago, and you haven't kept up with the 411, my dude.
And come to know Christ, get into a good Bible-believing Baptist church, and be saved, and go out and tell people the good news of Jesus Christ.
By the way, for those who don't know, Rage came out a while ago. He's not even an atheist anymore. He's now going into Buddhism, deism, I'm not sure, something along those lines, but it's changed his name to Rage to Reason, started a new channel and stuff. So, yeah, he doesn't even proclaim to be an atheist anymore, but he's still not a Christian. So, fuck you, Matt.
And I want to move on to the YFN atheist. He's the second in-person debate that I had ever had, and that's real. He said, I'll have nothing to do with him, and I would rather go to hell with all of my friends. And he named a certain community. But here's the thing.
So I'm skipping through most of that. Ethan didn't want to have anything to do with this. Messaged me personally on YouTube, so I'm not going to say too much about that. Only that I know that Matt Powell, again, unfortunately, just invited this person, your friendly neighborhood atheist, for a conversation out at his place or whatever, and filmed it. It wasn't scheduled to be a debate. He didn't have any arguments prepared, and he took the most unfortunate clips. Just to try and make us look all like idiots for his little mockumentary here. But again, that's just because you're a dishonest editor and you're a dishonest debater or even conversationalist. And so we know a thing or two about, non-consensual debates because you and people like you have invited us or infiltrated us with them.
The thing, this community that he's talking about going to hell with is the community that actually leads the world in pedophilia.
Yep. We're all pedophiles. The atheist community, we're all pedophiles. Look up the stats. Incorrect. I'm not doing it here. I don't even have to. This is just fucking pure jargon at this point. This guy's just a discombobulated mess, just trying to throw jabs at anybody he can through his computer screen. Good job, Matt. Very Christian of you.
Yeah, it was sad to see somebody say, "Well, if your God's real, then I'll have nothing to do with him." You know, it's just so sad that some people actually do that, but that's what they did to Christ, right? They
No, that's not what happened to Christ. Christ was killed because he alleged that he was God. That's why they killed Christ. But yeah, go ahead.
nailed him to the cross, even though he was the Messiah of the world, the Messiah of Christianity. They nailed him to the cross, knowing that they were nailing God's precious Son, his only begotten.
No, they didn't know that. They didn't believe that. Otherwise, they wouldn't have crucified him, you dipshit. But you're just proselytizing now.
Son to the cross. So sometimes truth doesn't matter to certain people. Truth really makes certain people angry. And I think that that's what happened with him. And, you know, he got on YouTube as well. And I appreciated his honesty.
Shit, I apologize because I thought I had passed that clip, but that's what Matt does through most of this video. Again, he's just clip mining for like the worst images he can find of angry atheists. And just to clarify, I'm not angry. I mean, I'm disgusted. I think your behavior is immoral, immature, and unchristian. It's unchristlike, dude. Like, you are not representing your Messiah very well.
Honesty when he said that Matt Powell could have made me look worse, because I really probably could have made him look worse if I had edited in all of the other inaccuracies that he said as well. But I figured that, you know, it'd be best to leave those things out because I'm not in the business of making people look bad.
But that's exactly what that every time, like every time without fail, that's all you try to do is make not people, atheists look bad. You are in the business of trying to make atheists look as bad as possible. That's all you do, Matt.
You know, that's not what I've ever intended to do. I do intend to make false things look like what they are, which is falsehoods, and true things come to light. So I appreciate.
So if you believe our beliefs are false, then you will do everything you can to try and make us look as wrong as possible. What does that mean to you? It's the same thing.
Appreciated his honesty there and admitting that it could have been worse for him. You know, I want to be as fair as I can when I'm having these discussions, to honestly represent the atheist community. And the third discussion, the third debate that I had with the Mr. Jones guy, 1972, I think was his YouTube handle name.
This is the only one of these individuals I do not know and have not interacted with, Mr. Jones. But I'm going to just pretty much assume from what I do know that Matt's going to misrepresent this individual as well. So hold on to your hats. Oh, shit. Wrong one.
You know, he puts out videos against God as well. And so he kept challenging me to a debate on the farting dinosaurs or whatever. So I said, hey, we'll just do one on creation versus evolution. He said, sounds good. And we had that over on Brett Keene's channel back when Brett Keene was on YouTube. I don't think he is anymore.
Yeah, so once again, why are you bringing up old shit? Like, Brett Keene's channel was, how long ago was this? Like, yeah, you're not, clearly Matt Powell is not holding on to any of this. Hashtag cupcake memory.
He kind of comes and goes from YouTube. He'll probably be back sooner than later. But
yeah, kind of like you. I hadn't heard anything from Matt Powell for months. Not that I have like the all notify all button on, but I did subscribe to Matt Powell a while ago, and I watched a couple of his videos, which were pretty lackluster. He likes to record himself preaching and talking about a lot of this same shit. It's always against the atheist. He doesn't just do the, believe in Jesus sermon. It's like, if you're an atheist, you're really fucked. Those types of things. But he's a very nice guy about it. Yeah. Very gentlemanly, one might say.
We had this conversation. And for about 10 to 12 minutes at the beginning of the debate, Mr. Jones could not get his mic to work. And so for 10 to 12 minutes, Mr. Jones was working with his mic and working with his video camera to try to get everything working.
Okay, so there was a technical issue, and years ago, and why are you focused on this now? I think he went back and rewatched these debates to prep for this. Do you think so? And they're probably like 2-hour long debates. He did a 16-minute video. A lot of introspection going on there.
And he couldn't get it working. And so I didn't want to embarrass him. I wanted to take that part out. So I did edit that first 10 to 12 minutes out of the video, out of the debate, because I didn't want people to see him fumbling around and making all these mistakes and just getting some basic mic check going.
Wait, so right there, like, why wouldn't you just restart the debate? If you had full control over this, you have all these technical issues. You're like, no, I just edited that whole first part. Maybe it was his opening statement. I don't know. You know, with Matt Powell, you can never know.
So when I uploaded the debate to my channel, he accused me of misediting him and misediting the debate, when in reality, I was just cutting out that initial part of the debate.
Thankfully, StreamYard now has a feature, which I think is great, where you can get a local recording back, or even if you and your interlocutor have issues with the connection, it will still come through clearly when you get that recording broadcast after it's buffered through their end, and you can get a local recording of the audio, video, or both. Because I've had a lot of issues with that, where there's like whole segments of podcasts that like go missing, especially with like Michaela when we were doing that. So yeah, I'm glad StreamYard finally got on top of that, and they're just doing a lot better.
Where he was fumbling around and not able to figure out the mic setup. And so it just, but of course he accused me of, well, this is a dishonest edit. He cut out over 12 minutes of the debate, when in reality, all I was doing was cutting out the part where he was making himself even look more crazy. You know, unfortunately, throughout that debate, he was saying things that were kind of crazy. You know, like I said, evolution, Darwinian evolution is not true. It is false. And people who advocate for it.
Wait. So you're debating evolution, and then you're just saying it's false and crazy. So that's justification for you cutting it out? No, you said it was a technical issue, sir, not an issue with your brain.
They're saying things that are wrong because you have to defend it with lies. You can't defend evolution honestly. It is
right. You're not making an argument. You're making assertions. Is this your response? Like, what kind of weak sauce is this?
possible to defend evolution honestly. And creationism and creation science has always made the best testable predictions, whether they want to admit that or not. It is the strongest model. There is no.
That is absolutely not true. If you trust no, we use scientific methods to obtain reliable predictions about what has and will happen, and only scientific methods. Your methods are all by chance.
No debate on that. And so, Mr. Jones, he just kind of lost his cool after the debate. We started talking about whether or not evolution teaches that rocks conceived. I said that, there's scientific papers that are telling us we owe our life to rocks, that life descended from rocks.
There is no scientific paper that says that. That's probably why the dude got mad, because you're making shit up.
We get life, etc. And of course, he was repeating the same thing that he had heard from all of the other atheist YouTubers, that nobody.
We're all saying the same shit because there's no other. We're all. How do I even know? Like, wait. So we're all just repeating. You're repeating the same argument from your biblical scholars, from your Bible, from your online heroes. I'm not going to name names anymore, but come on, get out of here. Yeah, there's nothing that can be said that hasn't been said before, right?
Nobody believes life came from a rock. when that's what all of these scientific articles and papers are actually stating, is that
No, life lives on a rock and come from a rock.
rocks were rained on, minerals were eroded. Those minerals were what sparked life. So by definition, that means that according to them, whether they know it or not, we were conceived from rocks.
No, there are chemical compounds. There are organic structures contained in rocks and minerals, dude. Like, you just don't understand shit. You don't understand anything.
Now, this is obviously not true. God is the one who created life. God is the one who brought life into existence. At the end of the debate, Mr. Jones completely lost his cool. And you could just see the veins popping in his neck and just how angry this guy was.
Mr. Jones just looked like he has a headache from listening to you, like I do, but I don't see the veins popping from his neck. I don't. Where is that?
In his face and the hatred that he had towards me and towards the truth, more importantly, that I would share with him.
It's not hatred. We do not invest emotionally enough in you, sir, to hate you, Matt. Nobody gives that much of a fuck about your cupcake ass in this community, or any that I'm aware of, other than maybe your own. You save that shit for your congregants. Nobody is wasting that much emotional. I find this kind of funny. Mr. Jones looks extremely disappointed. You know, I am too. You just fail to grasp very simple scientific, like a scientific understanding of the universe. And in some ways, even though you play victim, you are a victim, but not in the way you think. You're a victim to your own ideology, because you can't even, analyze your own bullshit, man. Come on.
And he ended up actually lighting a cigarette on camera to me.
Oh my goodness, he lit a cigarette on camera. What a sinner. What a frickin' heathen. This Mr. Jones lighting a cigarette on camera. Matt's going to take some moral aversion to this now.
Me, that's just so unprofessional that you would actually just light a cigarette and then just start drinking alcohol. I mean, who does that in a professional setting?
Many professionals have engaged in smoking and drinking. I hate to burst your bubble, Matt. Are you calling yourself a professional debater now? Are we doing professional debates? Because I thought you said you didn't really do debates and you hated debates. Why does Mr. Jones need to be professional for you? We're just streaming shit on YouTube, man. Like, who do you think you are? Christopher Hitchens. I'm trying to think of. There was a guy back in the. I know they used to smoke pipes like all the time in the forum. That's all it was, like scotch and pipes. That was the original debate circuit. The revolutionaries, same thing. Scotch and it was like whiskey and pipes, right? Still kind of scotch with blended, I don't know, whatever they were doing back then, right? But there's always been booze and tobacco. Only in your little modern, progressive Christian bubble are you supposed to have civilized debates where people don't occasionally like light a cigarette or have a drink. Casting judgment again. You're passing judgment, sir. Check yourself.
I just found that to be very interesting. And then when the raging atheist lost, he broke down, cried, and the very first thing that he did was turn to drugs. He lit a joint and started smoking a joint and started drinking alcohol as well. I mean, this is what they do when atheists.
This is what they do. I need to get that one too. Darth does that all the time. This is what they do. Yeah, dude, it's called stress relief. We're trying not to flip out on you at the moment because you're being an asinine prick. Right? Like the whole homophobic, misgendering, transphobic bullshit that you do. You go out of your way to trigger people, and why are they getting stressed out? Because you, sir, are going out of your way to create conflict with people who otherwise don't give a fuck what you believe, right? We otherwise would not give a fuck what you believed if you were not creating conflict and strife for us.
Atheists are challenged. I'm not saying all of them, but I'm saying most of their demographic. Because remember, they lead the world in drunkenness and alcohol abuse.
There is absolutely no data anywhere to correlate what Matt just said. There is no evidence that drug and alcohol abusers are more likely to be atheists or non-theist or anything. There's no data on that at all. There's no data on that. He's completely lying through his teeth.
The very first thing that they do is they turn to these things, these substances that put them back into fantasy land. And it's sad. I wasn't trying to get him to go into fantasy land. I wasn't trying to cause him to become so bitter with me that.
So now he's just like, all atheists are freaking substance abusers in a fantasy land? I can't even begin to. This is the problem with this fucking guy. He can straw man every part of our sect with a straight face. And again, no introspection. You're the guy who's over here hitting a freaking rubber SpongeBob with a little hammer every week, claiming to be the superior human being. Do you? Nothing. He doesn't get it.
That he would turn around and actually say that he hates me. It is what it is. You know, a lot of these YouTubers out there are now saying that they hope that I die. I mean, this is ridiculous. You know, you need to be able.
I mean, I agree. I don't think we should sink to your level and say that we hope that you die and make death threats against you. I think that is lowering ourselves, stooping to your level, Matt, because you, whether you realize it or not, by attempting to attack and other people, traumatizing other individuals who you disagree with, when you're pushing them to the level of suicide and your people are saying the same thing, telling them that they need to die, that they should not be, right? Why should I have, I don't have the same level of empathy for you, but I agree that we should not stoop to your level. That is a lower level of humanity that you are exhibiting.
Be able to just agree to disagree. And, you know, I do want to take a moment and say thank you to the atheist YouTubers that have attacked me, because they're actually.
You're welcome, I guess, but also fuck you.
Publicizing these videos, they're publicizing the truth, they're publicizing the debates. Being a creationist, I wouldn't typically respond to an atheist who has a lot of videos making Christians, you know, look bad.
So you yourself would not subscribe to a channel from our team that does the same thing that you do for your team? Wow. What a highly evolved concept. Matt doesn't even understand tribalism.
But, you know, you get on my channel, we have discussions with these atheists face to face where they start breaking down and lighting joints and saying there's no absolutes, I can't be sure of anything. And they
can't prove an absolute. You can't demonstrate an absolute. You only assert absolutes. Right? You can't prove it. We don't have to. You're the one making the claim.
they make response videos and start directing traffic over there. I mean, to me, man, what are they thinking? I just don't feel like that's a very good strategy. I feel like you guys should probably find another YouTuber to attack. Another.
Oh, I've got plenty of other YouTubers to attack Cupcake, but I'm still doing this video right now because you're a fucking douchebag. You are the epitome of everything that is wrong with Christianity, if not just like American society as a whole. I'm just going to finish this video and sign out. But yeah.
Other Christians to go after that hasn't had these discussions, because you're directing your audience to a channel where the atheistic worldview and some proponents of it have been beaten in the realm of a debate, who have been taken down. And I would just encourage you to do some basic research. The number one thumbed up comment on my channel, the number one liked comment is that Matt Powell has obviously never dealt with an atheist. It just goes to show, people come to the channel, they look at one little video, and they conclude based on that one little clip that they've seen that I must have never talked to an atheist. This is a straw man. So that's the number one comment on the channel, is that, well, I just have never talked to them. We've had discussions. We've had conversations. We've had different debates that you can see. And like I said, the atheistic worldview is indefensible. That's why they break down. And there is no debate. There really is no debate. I want to nail this point home, that this whole idea that there's a creation versus evolution debate, people might say that there is, and people might have discussions, but in my mind, there is no debate. God's word is true. Creation science is verifiably accurate.
And that's all I really need to hear. In Matt's mind, there is no debate. You know what the reason for that is, Matt Powell, Cupcake? The reason that people accuse you of not really ever talking to atheists is because you never actually listen to them. And all your debates, like so many apologists, are run on scripts. And you're not actually critical about the ideas that you are espousing, right? You're actually stuck on an idea. It is cemented, and you have there is no room for doubt in your mind. You cannot adjust, you cannot adapt your position to account for anything that does not follow along your script and your worldview, right? So, who is the unreasonable one? Now, you claim victimhood here. You don't even want to take part in debates, and now you're saying that you are thoroughly and completely convinced of your position. Actually, that is a great position to be in as a debater, but you, sir, are not a good debater. You're not even a fairly decent debater. You are one of the most dishonest debaters. Everybody, including your own community, right? The theist community calls Matt Powell a dishonest debater, and he's no longer welcome in these circles. The only place he's welcome, I guess, is at Dinosaur Adventureland with Kent, playing with dolls and plastic hammers, which is probably where he belongs. So I'll leave it at that. I'll say goodnight. Stay trusty. Have a good turkey day. Gobble, gobble, gobble. I might do a stream tomorrow if time allows. I will be with family. Much love. Be well. Stay trusty. Thank you to Godless Sewing in the chat. Check out Patreon. And that's a terrible, terrible East Coast accent. Bye-bye.